Hi, family. We're going to talk about resentments for a few minutes. I have a massive one that's been forming in me, and anybody who's been in recovery for 12 minutes knows that those of us who are of the addictive personality cannot afford a resentment. And so one of the things I've learned to do, and it's not easy. None of this is easy. Truly, it's simple, but it's just not easy. One of the things I've learned to do is to take a huge step back and ask myself, first of all, what's my part in it? That is always a primary question that anyone in recovery will do as part of their accountability and growth, spiritual growth. And then once I've assessed that honestly, and if I can't do that on my own, that's where I seek my outside counsel. I have 3 primary outside counsel sources that I seek because, frankly, anyone who doesn't seek outside counsel is a fool for the big stuff. I've learned with these resentments that I have to do some really hard things, and they're not easy for anyone, but they are particularly difficult for those of us who have had a lifetime of loss, been abandoned as children, etc. I've had to make a hard line and actually unfriend some folks on social media. Now, I didn't do it as I used to do in anger, so that's definitely progress. However, I did do it. I tried to detach with love in a couple of cases, and I expected it would be that way because these are people who have not progressed very far in their own recovery, and so they kind of latch on and vicariously, almost like a leech, take from others. And so I need to be particularly careful of that because I am a phenomenally giving, generous human being. Now, that's not, of course, all out of altruism. You know, my fear of abandonment, what happened to me, blah, 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 right? And that's the thing. We can spend all this time analyzing it all, or we can just take action. You know, that's another lesson that I've learned late in life that I hope anyone listening takes in and gives great consideration to, is that when you do make those disconnects, and I've tried in every case, I try not to do that. If you are on one side of a recovery bridge and you've done the work and you've called back to these people over and over and over again in so many different ways for them to cross over to the light, to get away from the cold and the dark, and they choose to stay there because it's more comfortable, they're afraid, whatever reason they choose, you can't just stay there. And it really becomes damn near insanity producing to try to stay. What happens then is inevitably our resentments are formed. And those of us who come from the addictive tribe, we just simply can't afford those. And so this morning I awoke to a message from one of those folks, and I was not kind in my response. It was a private response, but I wasn't kind because this person has chose to stay in intensive care, and this person is not honest with themselves. They're not honest with others. They're not authentic, and they can live that way, but I don't have to make that a part of my life or witness it. And so it was an extremely difficult decision to make, to actually disconnect, because this person gave nothing, literally nothing. And then through a mental temper tantrum when I said I was going to make that disconnect. And so I did what I've learned to do with my own coping mechanisms in my life. And I used my mouth and I spoke my truth. And then I did say, I'm going to make sure you get this message, and then I'm going to do something I don't often do anymore, which is to block on social media. I keep sending this person links, and even though I disconnected, I kept sending links, and I need to stop that altogether. It's not healthy for me, and for me to get a resentment over my continued treatment from this person is not healthy for me either. And so I guess if anything is to be taken from this episode, it's that it is a hard, brutal truth that we have to make the decision to disconnect from those who choose to stay in the mess, the dysfunction, and then gaslight us into thinking it's us that's doing it. I'm so grateful for all of I hesitate to use the word normal, but I guess that comes closest to describing mentally balanced, healthy, community-minded, compassion-centered and focused human beings in my world who remind me of what life is supposed to be. And it isn't easy. I start every episode out with, hello family, and you are my family if you're here. But walking away from our family of origin, or being exiled from our family of origin, or down the line because now we've been gone for so long we simply don't matter to them anymore, that's a hard pill to swallow. And it would be fake of me to say otherwise. So anyway, I've got some time scheduled with a friend today, and just putting one foot in front of the other. Thanks for listening.